coaches, I guess, in their own right, and they bring what they do to the table. But for me, it's not about that instant gratification anymore.
I've got a story to tell you about the Springbok sponsorship. I've got a leaked picture.
Oh,
I
that
know, and it was a
one. Yes, they are.
I didn't even know there were a couple.
Shit.
You didn't know there were a
I
couple.
didn't even, yeah, and everything was just kept so hush-hush.
Romy Titus and Kevin McCallum. Not the sports news.
Morning, not the sports news. Yeah, studio's looking good.
Yeah.
We got plenty more space and enough space for Kevin Fine to join us this morning. Morning, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Thank you for
What
having
a
me on the show.
great no.
Thank you to you, and thank you to the listeners. There's a swear
Remember,
jar.
there's a swear jar here.
Oh.
So every time you say the P word, no, that as well. And also, every time you say pirates, let's put $10 in.
Okay.
Because
Oh.
pirates is a swear word now.
Well,
Who
then,
gets the money? Me?
Well,
I will not
we
be
share it out, and by the end of the show, we should have enough to have a really good Christmas party with Kevin Fine and Daniel Hirschon.
listen, this has been, I swear, the most interesting week of sport we've had
Yeah.
in a long
I
time.
really mustn't do roundabout now.
Before we even get to the show,
Yeah.
have you all seen this Ashton Hall video?
No.
So Ashton Hall is a former professional sportsman who's done this video of his morning routine. So he gets up at 3:52, stands in the mirror. He's got this tape over his nose and his mouth and his eyes. I don't know what else. Then he goes and he dips his face in
For
a
the
bowl of
wrinkles.
ice with this water that's apparently now selling 10 times as many bottles from before the video went out. Then he walks outside at 4 a.m., does some press-ups, comes back in, and then he goes and jumps in the pool at 7:36 and lands
Sounds
at
like
7:40. 7:36 lands at 7:40. And the amount of social media that has gone on around this guy, he's had more diss videos than I think he's received on his own platforms. But one unbelievable social media story, which reminds me, we need to pick up on that guy who does those South African stories. He's like, I've got a story to tell you about the Springbok sponsorship. I've got a leaked picture.
Oh,
I
that
know, and there was a
one.
press release.
That
We need to
one.
call that guy out.
Yeah.
We'll do a video on him later. And there's also, of course, the big story of the purchase of Royal AM.
It's not even
No, the
a big
non-purchase
story.
of
So this guy
Royal
puts a
AM.
tape on his mouth. My wife just did that at night. Sadly, then she took it off in the morning and she spoke the whole day. So, but
What is the story with Royal AM?
So apparently the deal has now fallen through. Someone came and bought the team, and now someone is no
how do
longer
you
bought
say
the
that
team.
name?
Chocolingam.
Chocolingam.
Chocolingam Roy Moodley, right?
Yes.
So he was the preferred bidder.
Yeah.
And he's put in a bid for how much? 15 million.
That's it, yeah. They're looking for 40 million back. See, I think 15 million to start, then he's got to pay another 15 million for the debts and all the other carry on. Otherwise, they still can't buy
The start is
players.
just the 15 million.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's the start.
That's
Okay, so-
without everything else.
And that's
that
with the
they
debt
inherit.
as well. So he's looking at 50 bar minimum.
So is the sale through or is it not through?
As-
Because SARS are saying they haven't given him a tax certificate.
So look,
Yeah.
Chocolingam Roy Moodley came along, right?
That
He
name's
had the
great.
money.
Chocolingam!
After then it was a vetting process, right?
Right.
So all the T's and C's, and they had to check everything, and he has failed this vetting process. So therefore, they're saying that the deal is no longer going through. But yesterday, I heard that everybody was so excited. Players were back at training,
Yeah.
like they were going to hit the ground running. This was pretty much a done deal, and all the T's and C's, which I think is a good thing, because aren't we saying, yes, please buy the club. However, let us not 2 months down the line
have
or a year-
another Mamam Kize.
Correct.
So just for absolute clarity, the sale apparently went through, but Royal AM have not been bought.
Yeah, SARS, I don't think these guys can. I mean, it's SARS. They're obviously going to check for your tax clearance. And this has been involved in state capture.
So the three things I've
Yeah.
read about him: one is he received a 282 million rand tender in the Western Cape, and Alan Wind has come out and said that it's impossible that this guy should be doing business with the
Yeah.
province.
Yes.
And he also started a Royal Security.
Royal Security. I mean,
Yeah, in 1980 or something. So
Yeah.
he could be the sponsor. But this guy sounds like another illegitimate character, like Mamam Kize, and he's been the preferred bidder because we spoke to
Look, he was
Kobile
he was a
yesterday.
preferred bidder based on the fact that he had everything, right? But then it's the vetting process, and that is where he fails. When they did a deeper dive into who exactly is this person, that is where everything else came up, which again is a good thing, don't you think? Because we're saying
agree.
we cannot have this happen again. Vetting process happens, which says, sorry, Chocolingam, sir, you cannot.
Maybe we
run
could get a
Willy
Russian
Wonka's
oligarch
chocolate
like
factory.
Roman Abramovich to buy the side. Oh, sorry, the English have been through that with Chelsea, so let's not go down that road.
here's a picture of Roy with Jacob Zuma. I mean, does that not tell you everything you need to know about this guy?
All right.
Cash in hand.
Cash
Not cash in
money.
sport.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have to follow the story because as I pointed out to somebody yesterday, actually what everybody wants is for this team to be back in the league. There's players affected, there's administrators affected, there's security, there's fields.
There's fixtures, there's broadcast.
Can't
there's
they just nix the
everything.
franchise and just set up another franchise? I mean, it's the franchise that they're buying. They're not buying the team. So just nix the franchise and then
I
start up a
think
franchise
you
and sell it to somebody else.
You are
No.
buying the team.
Yeah, you are, but you're also buying a franchise. The franchise system is warped for me. I
But
think
you
it's
see, I think it's not as easy as what we're saying. We're just like out with the old, in with the new. Let's keep going. But I think there's so many T's and C's and policies and things that they cannot go against.
So they need to resolve this because if they don't and they're out of the league, everybody who's played them loses their points. It means that 14 and 15 are now absolutely in the relegation because there's no 16th team.
Correct.
And what it also means is that this match between Cape Town City and SuperSport United on the weekend is probably
do
the
or
most
die.
important match of their lives this season. Both without coaches, or with new coaches. Sorry, with new
And we
coaches.
were talking to Andre Arnson just now about that as well.
Yeah,
he's got a hell of a job.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a job ahead
Look,
of
and
him.
he's also been very outspoken in terms of Bafana and who should take the fall when it comes to having fielded Tebogo Mokoena.
I see Brown Beloy
in
is
that,
angry
in
with
that
that as well,
Lesotho
yeah.
game.
Well, everybody's angry.
Yeah, but this Royal AM thing's a joke. And as I keep saying, the franchise system is for me is a mistake, and everyone just buys a team. Okay, and the two words that no one uses when they buy a team: due diligence, and also apparently
But look,
tax
due diligence
clearance.
is being is being
They have done it
now.
now, but surely they should have done with Mamakeze before. I mean, they look at her and go, right, hang on, wait, she's been bankrupt
But
3-4 times. She's like she's the black Donald Trump.
But how deep a dive are they doing?
Yeah.
Because you're coming to buy, you've got the money. They're not vetting you as deeply as they are now, which I think is probably a siren for other clubs or whoever wants to buy a team. Like, look, it's now no longer I've got 40 million, I can buy it. It's how sustainable is your club? Do you have the sponsors?
Yeah.
With the grant, are you able to get other money into your coffers? How are you going to run it? How are you going to pay players? And I think we needed this in order just to raise that flag and say, we're not running our league like this anymore. You have to have proper money to do it. And if you don't, sorry.
Well, as you've said on many occasions on this show, why have the PSL been so quiet about this? You know why? Because half of their owners are in this sort of same situation. You know, there's no tax clearance, there's no due diligence done. Only the really big clubs, SuperSport and, well, not the big clubs, some of the clubs.
Big clubs that are in
Okay, not
relegation.
SuperSport, Pirates, middling club. But if we... But the other clubs are also being run in the same way. You know, there's
We
no
hope-
sustainability for
Look,
this.
Kev, we hope not, because other clubs are paying their players, right?
Yeah,
Other
true,
clubs are
yeah.
honouring fixtures. Other clubs are arriving at stadiums.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the siren to say we're not running clubs like that anymore. And
good.
if they
Well,
are,
yeah, I agree.
well, catch a wake up.
Well, listen, there's other people running clubs like Circus, and it's happening in Formula One, the richest sport in the
know.
world. I mean, this Red Bull story is fascinating. Just
Two races. Liam Lawson, the New Zealander, youngster, 23 years old, they've kicked him out. So he's been demoted. They're bringing up the Japanese driver from it's RB Racing to Red Bull Racing Factory. And Liam Lawson, because he hasn't scored any points, they scoped him out. The problem is that this car is hard to drive. And they designed the car for Max Verstappen.
But the thing is also, how do you bring a driver and then just decide after 2 races, thank you and goodbye?
Yeah, so they
I
bring...
don't know, maybe it was a shitty guy. Sorry, 5 rand.
There we go. 10. 10
10 rand.
10
for
rand.
shit.
This is,
No, 10 rand doesn't even buy us a
There's-
loaf of bread,
it's
guys.
20
It's
bucks.
actually
That's
20.
That's 20
But
bucks.
Max Verstappen now is at odds with Christian Horner. He said somebody put up a post on Instagram saying this is bullying, and he liked the post. So he's not happy about this because apparently he liked Liam Lawson and said, give the guy a chance, give him another chance. That's what he should be doing. I mean, it's 2 races and the Japanese Grand Prix is coming up soon. Why do you not just let the guy learn
like-
the car?
Correct. It's like Isak, who Anthony Hamilton was hugging at the end of it because he crashed out in his very first race. So what, you're just going to take him off? And he hasn't had enough time actually to...
He's a rookie, yeah.
To find
Well,
himself.
Formula One, and also he crashed out in one of the hardest Grand Prix I've seen. That was the Australian Grand Prix, pouring with rain. It wasn't great, and he basically just hit the thing, and the mapping of his engine, the torque went a bit too high, got in the paint, into the barrier. At what, 20 k's an hour? So you feel sorry for him.
Listen, we're talking about just replacing people or giving them another chance. And later on today, I know we're talking PSL. and teams not giving the coaches another chance.
Look, I disagree with this story completely, because I think as much as these coaches have been sacked, right, and there have been 11, it isn't that vicious merry-go-round that we see anymore. I think that clubs are really lenient now. They're leaning into the coaches and their philosophies and not just firing them off the bat. I mean, I think the quickest one is probably, for me, Ettegral. Who came in, couldn't do what he was supposed to do, out you go. But then again, City are where they are. Then it's Gavin Hunt, who I also still feel, as much as SuperSport are not doing well with the caliber of coach that they have, who met his 1,000th game, they should have just waited until the end of the season.
All right.
But that's my opinion. But I mean, it's not as vicious as what it used to be. I think Chipper United in one season went through 23 coaches.
Good God.
It isn't like that anymore.
So what Romy's basically saying is they've slowed the merry-go-round.
Yes, down
that's
considerably.
comforting. That's comforting.
Well, I feel for Gavin Hunt. I mean, I've met him. I like him. He's a considered coach. He's done really well.
If he
He's
was
won.
here, this job would be full by
Oh yeah. That's a given. I mean, he's not shy of an F-bomb or several dozen. But Gavin Hunt's a good coach. But he'll get a job.
They're all good coaches, I guess, in their own right, and they bring what they do to the table. But for me, it's not about that instant gratification anymore, where, okay, you're in now and you're out. Like Coach Nabi, I'm just like, okay, are you going to be out soon? Or are they going to hang on to you until the end of the season?
Truthfully, I would have expected him to have been gone. But staying with ridiculous news, and we'll speak to a couple of authorities on that subject later. Michael Schumacher has an update. He's been in a coma for 11 years.
So apparently there's a German F1 a journalist called Felix Gorner, and he says that he can't communicate at all. Apparently there was some communication, even though through the coma he was, I don't know, what do you call it? Basically he could move his fingers a bit, but there's nothing now. And he says it's incredibly sad. I mean...
He had a skiing accident 11 years ago.
Skiing accident, high-speed skiing, basically hit a rock that was covered in snow. And that basically sent him into the coma.
Oh,
I mean, the irony of this, of course, is that this guy raced around racing tracks at
Correct,
300
and nothing
kilometers an hour
happened.
and then goes skiing. And
I mean, this is the same guy who put Damon Hill into the barriers to try and win the World Championship, got banned for that. He put two players, I think he put Jacques Villeneuve into the barrier as well. So he had a reputation for, like, putting his elbows out. And it's incredibly sad. As someone who watched his brother be in a coma for 2 weeks, this 11 years, that would break my heart.
Yeah.
It's not right for him, and it's not dignified. You just need, sometimes just pull the plug.
It's easy, I guess, for us to say to pull the plug, because what quality of life does
Well, we
he
did.
have?
So
you
for
know?
my brother. So,
But
well, we did. Yeah, we
I
literally,
guess
yeah.
how do they?
Is he brain dead? So there's tests you can do for brain dead. Like we did for Barry, my brother. And and if he's then
Because now
donate his organs. Obviously his organs are in good nick. And that sounds terrible, but we donated my brother's organs.
I remember
It
you
saved
said, yeah,
two
like
people's
that.
lives. Some poor bastard, 10 rand, got his
No,
liver
it's 40
and his
bucks
kidneys.
now.
God knows how. Because Barry, I mean, if you think I used to drink, that oak. I mean, he was a Formula One drinker. I mean, he would drink the petrol from a Ferrari if he could.
so now there's two stories, both involving women.
Yeah.
One is Taylor Swift. The other is Sofia Vergara.
I'm so
This is just.
upset.
I sent
I'm
her a
so
message last
Why?
night. You should have seen the.
Because
Well.
apart from my boyfriend that holds my phone here for me on the desk, that's my boyfriend. He just doesn't know yet.
Lewis Hamilton.
So Lewis Hamilton and Sofia Vergara are over.
Yes, they are.
I didn't even know they were a
Thankfully.
couple. You didn't know they were a
I
couple.
didn't. And everything was just kept so hush hush. But I really like the age gap between the two. Like one's 40 and the other one is 52, and it worked. And Sophia wanted more, apparently, according to a source. And Louis was just
More
like,
heights, or because I'm sure he really looked up to her.
Hey, no short jokes today. I mean, God, no, I'm sitting right here.
I mean, what did he have to get on a step ladder to give her a kiss?
shame, guys. And she's absolutely beautiful, man.
Yes, she is.
Wow.
And that accent in Modern Family, she's great.
Yeah.
I mean, she's hilarious, and she stars with Johnny Bairstow. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's the gay ginger dad. No, Johnny Bairstow plays cricket. Sorry,
Anyway,
they
never
look
mind.
the same.
Look,
I'm sure Johnny Bairstow will be thrilled with your comparison. So moving on from Sophia, Taylor Swift and Barcelona have done
I
a deal.
know.
What the hell?
So they're sponsored by Spotify, and they're not playing at the new camp at the moment because the ground's being updated, and the new ground's called Spotify. And so they don't put Spotify on this jersey. They put stars. They put Coldplay on, and they put Taylor Swift. Apparently, has won the bid to be on the jersey coming up.
Oh my
Wow.
God! I mean, would you play with a Taylor Swift shirt or a shirt that said Taylor Swift? On it?
No, but
I wouldn't be thrilled.
can you imagine Swift and you're a goalkeeper going, "Oh, I'm not moving anywhere." Yeah.
I mean,
What pop star would you put in your shirt if you were a team?
Lenny Kravitz.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, actually. Spot on.
Or
Kev.
maybe U2, U3, U4, U5. MD, is that the Oscar music I hear in my ears? Are you trying to tell us to go to a break?
He's telling us to shut the hell up.
Romy Titus and Kevin McCallum. Not the Sports News.